Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Poshteacher. I'm glad you could join us. And I'm very excited to have Mia on our channel as our guest today. Hi, Mia. Welcome to our program.
Hi.
And Mia is a first grade teacher, and she's also an author for TPT. So she will talk all about that. Mia, well, we here at Posh Teacher, our first question is always, what was your aha moment where you decided to go into education?
Well, as far back as I can remember, I always have wanted to be a teacher. I don't know what it was. I remember one of my third grade teachers asking me, the teachers always ask, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And a lot of kids always say, "I want to be a teacher." And I actually grew up to be a teacher. And I remember telling my teacher that I wanted to be a teacher during the school year so that I could write or be an author during the summer. And so now I'm just starting my TPT store where I'm just starting to make products to sell to other teachers. So in a way, I'm starting to do both those things that I wanted to do. So it's kind of cool how that works out.
Oh, the best of both worlds. Yes. Well, that is exciting. So, what grades do you teach or have you taught? Can you tell us a little background?
This is my sixth year teaching. I've taught third grade my first 4 years, and then now I am teaching first grade. So I taught first grade last year, and I'm teaching first grade again this year. And it's just been kind of crazy because, last year we ended kind of in March. We went into, we went into the lockdown, so we didn't finish off the school year traditionally. And then this year has not been traditional at all. We've been Zooming since August, so I've never really met my students. So I just see their little pictures, and it's very different. It's sad, but it's exciting in a way because you get to see their home life, and you get to meet, their siblings. You get to meet their pets. You get to meet their families. So in a way, it's kind of there's some positives, although it's very hard.
So, Mia, yes, the whole world wants to know, how does a first grade teacher teach on Zoom? So,
Um,
take us through your day. Like, how do you, yeah, how do you plan your day, your Zoom day?
well, it's been in the works. So I know, like in summer when we were like, are we going back? Are we not going back? How are we going to do this? Um, so I'm on Zoom with my students from 8:30 in the morning till 1:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
So we're all day. We have a recess break for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we do a lunch, and then we end our day. What I have found that is helpful for me is I put everything into a PowerPoint, and I kind of display the PowerPoint, and we just kind of go, not really slide by slide because that kind of sounds boring. Um, but it kind of gives me a guideline, and I'll be like, okay, so we're going to do ELA in the morning, and I'm going to put my links for my fun YouTube videos, and then I'll put my page numbers for the workbooks that I'm going to be using, or, oh, here's a prompt that we're going to do today. So it's kind of just guides me, and it provides a visual for the students as well. Um, because with first grade, they need those visuals. If it was just like this all day long and I'm just chatting, they're gone. So I'll put like my little Bitmojis, and they're like, "Oh, Mrs. Allred, you're a reindeer today," and I'm like, "Yep, I'm a reindeer." So anything that's going to
Mm.
keep them excited and focused on the screen, because those kids, they'll pull out their Switch, and I'll see them with on their Switch or on their phone, and I'm like, okay, let's bring them back. So I got to keep them engaged and excited on what's going on my screen, not what's going on their computer or on their TV or on their Switch or phone.
So that's exhausting. You are an entertainer and part of,
Yeah.
part of it. Like,
It's very hard because if a student doesn't know the answer and it's taking them some time, and then it goes quiet for a while, I'm like, okay, how can I got
oh,
to kind of keep it going.
yes.
So I'll be like, okay, how about you pick someone that can help you out, and we just got to, I feel like I'm
Oh.
talking all day long to make sure that there's not this awkward dead silence.
Yes.
um
And I know
where,
what you mean by that. I just showed a video the other day and I'm like, okay, what did you guys think about it? Let's talk about it. And there was like complete silence. And you're like,
yeah.
oh no. Now tell me, literally the technology aspect for them logging in? Like, are there challenge? I mean, a first grader, how does is a first grader comfortable logging into Zoom or Google Meets or
Um,
whatever you guys have?
at at first it was very hard. Um, they did not know how to get on by themselves. Now they are very, very good. They can use the emojis. Did I break up? Okay.
You're good. You're good now.
Um, they can use the little emojis on Zoom. They could use the chat. If they're glitching and I tell them, okay, log off, log back in, they could all do
Wow.
that by
Oh, so you
themselves.
trained them to do all this. That was part of your
Yes.
lesson.
So we they know how to mute themselves and unmute. They know how to turn off their cameras. Some of them even know how to flip their camera so they're upside down.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
some of them can even put the virtual background. So it's
Oh,
they're
they learned quick.
yeah, for being first grade, they know technology. I mean, they've grown up with technology. So they're not as afraid as like me going when I first got onto Zoom. I'm like, what is
Gosh.
going on? There's so much.
Yeah.
But they're not afraid of technology. So it's been nice.
Share at least one or two funny stories that you've experienced this year, because I'm sure you've got some in there.
I have yeah, I mean a lot of the kids will be like, "Oh, can I show you something? Can I show you something? Can I show you something?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, sure." Then all of a sudden all these pets come out. So like I have a little girl with a bird and she'll just bring out her bird, or I have a little boy with a hamster and he just, "Here's my hamster." And I'm like, "Okay." Or another student, one of their pets had a litter of puppies. So he just ran and was just showing me his puppies in the middle of a math lesson. And I'm
Oh,
like,
the middleman.
cute, but can you wait until the end of the day? So a lot of kids, it's hard because they all want to share. They all want to share. So what I just started doing, maybe in November, I tell them, hold your thought, hold it until the end of the day. And I literally say, okay, hold it. And then that kind of helps them. Or I even hold my fist so that I remember someone wants to tell me something because
Oh,
I will forget, and they all want to share, and it's hard when you're trying to explain a new math concept
oh
and
gosh.
they want to tell you something,
Yeah.
and then you go way off
Totally.
track, and then everyone else wants to tell the same thing. I had in the middle of a lesson, oh, I have a wiggly tooth, and then all of a sudden
Oh
everyone's hand
no.
up and they all say, oh, I have a wiggly tooth, and then you just see all their teeth up in the camera and they're wiggling it, and you're like,
So
okay,
cute.
let's hold it until later, and you can tell me at the end of the day. So that's something that's
Oh.
kind of helped me, and then they know. I think it reassures them that I will get back to them. So I say, hold it, and then they hold it.
A lot of
So
mimicking done, a lot of visuals.
yes,
Oh my gosh,
yes.
it's so
So
cute.
or another, just some fun things that happen is I'll be teaching and I'll look over at the camera. I'll have two cameras or two computers going. So
Oh
that's
wow.
one tip. So I have
Okay.
my personal laptop, and then I have my work laptop, and I'm
Okay.
logged into Zoom on both so that I could work on this screen and then I could see all of my students on the other screen.
That's a great tip. All right, there's a tip for everyone. Yes.
Yeah, so that has been super helpful because if you're on Zoom and you have a lot of participants, you'll only see, 5 or 6. And then you don't know what the other 20 are doing.
Are
So
doing, yes.
here, I could see and I could say, yeah, don't do that, or let's get on top, let's focus. They'll have scissors out, and I'm like, okay, put those
Oh
scissors.
no.
So
Do
yeah.
they have someone working with them? Do they have, nannies, or are parents involved in this? Do you see the parents next to the child? How much, who do they have with them?
Involvement.
Yeah, involvement.
At the beginning of the year, there was a lot more involvement. I saw the parents, or I could see, you'll see like the elbow, or sometimes at the very beginning, I heard a lot of the parents telling the kids the answers, and I was like,
Oh,
I had to send a message out, and I was like, no, 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 I know you want to help your child, but they're in school, and if this was like the normal classroom, you wouldn't be there telling them that
wow.
5 + 5 is 10. So I had to tell a few parents, let's not.
Wow.
Um, and so lately, not as much, and I don't see too much parent involvement. I also work with in like a low income area, so there's not a lot of some parents are at work, so it's older siblings there, or I know a few of my kids. I hate to say it, I know there's a few by themselves at home, and it
Oh,
breaks my
heartbreaking.
heart because I'm like, if something were to happen, I could only do so much.
Right,
So
right.
I I I know there are some that get a lot of support at home, and I love it. And I tell the parents, I'm so happy you're there, and I'm so happy that you're assisting them. But then I have both ends of the spectrum. I have
Wow.
where they're none getting help, and then I have some that are overly getting too much help. So
Wow. Oh,
it's
that's a challenge in itself. Yeah.
yeah.
You gave us the tip of having your, two screens. What is one more tip that you want to give those teachers out there that teach the little ones? Um,
I think just trying to keep it very simple,
okay.
simple. Because if you start, I mean, I would do so much in the classroom centers where I have all these things out, and we're doing all these different activities, and I felt like at the beginning, I felt like I had to hit every single thing that I would normally do in the school year.
Yes.
But I sadly had to let that go. There's only so much I could do, especially we have a shortened day. Normally we'd go until 2:15 or 2:25 in the school day. So we're already shortening the day by an hour, and then we're virtual. Um, so I think just trying to keep it as simple as possible, doing the things that that they need for the next grade level. So we've
Okay.
been really hitting stuff over and over and over that I know that they'll need in second grade. Um, Anything to keep it fun as well. Like I just started this last week. I told the kids, if you know the answer, start dancing.
Oh,
And so then all of a sudden I had the kids dancing. Kids that would not usually participate, they're dancing. They're doing TikTok or Fortnite, and they're just dancing, and I'll be like, okay, little Susie, tell me the answer. I see you're dancing, tell me the answer. And then she'll tell me the answer. Um,
wow.
Having the kids pick the next person to share,
Oh,
that's been fun. That's keeping them engaged, kind of like a popcorn reading, but like popcorn participating.
oh, I
So
love
okay,
it.
pick the next person you want to share. All these kids have their hands up. Who do you want to go next?
I love
So
it.
kind of giving them more control, and a lot of brain breaks. My
Oh,
kids love
yeah.
freeze dance and go noodle, anything like that. They are excited to do.
Thank you for sharing all that. And I think it leads into our next part because, again, you're a TPT author. And are these some of the things that you put in your TPT author?
Yeah. So I
You're a TPT author. Can you tell our audience what does TPT stand for?
Okay, so TPT stands for Teachers Pay Teachers, and it's just a platform where any ordinary teacher, if they make a resource um, or activity that they think is very helpful, they could share it with other teachers, and then other teachers can buy it and use it in their own classroom. So I just started to really focus on this a couple months ago, and it's like a whole new world. So I've been like looking into marketing and how to create better resources and products. So my what I do is I create, right now I'm working on number talks. So number talks are just activities that only take 10 to 15 minutes. And you display, for example, I might display with my students 4 numbers. So I might say, here's 10, 18, 28, and 2. And I might ask them which one doesn't belong. And it just brings in this great discussion. And I'll have all my students participating because there's no right or wrong answer. It's just them kind of looking and, oh, I see, oh, 2 doesn't belong because 2 only has 1 digit. Or if one of the numbers was odd, they might say, oh, 17 doesn't belong because all the other ones are even and this one's odd. And for a while I was using the Among Us thing. Among Us is the new popular game that all the kids are playing. And in that, there's an imposter, someone that doesn't belong in the game, and so that really hooked them in. So
Wow.
another tip is to just find something that the kids are really excited about. So right now, Among Us is like the new Fortnite.
Wow.
Um, Everyone's obsessed with it, and that kind of hooks them in. So I'm right now trying to create products that teachers can use virtually or in the classroom that only take a short amount of time.
Okay.
So maybe you use it as a warm up, or maybe you use it in that time that's between library and lunch. because that's always the time when admin just happens to come into your room. It's that time when you're not really, that awkward time when you don't have something prepped.
Oh,
So
I know. You hate that.
I know, it's always like, oh, you're coming in 10 minutes before lunch. Okay. So I'm trying to think of some resources that other teachers can use that can be put into that time frame.
Well, that sounds exciting. And I got, like you said, it kind of lets your author drive come out.
Yes.
Well, yeah, to switch gears a little bit, do besides teaching? What's your other
Well,
life?
I didn't just have a baby. I have a baby. Well, he's 9 months now.
Oh my gosh, that's a fun stage.
Like,
Oh.
I know he's just trying to learn how to crawl.
Oh.
So I'm really just enjoying the mommy life.
Right.
Being being in a pandemic has been hard.
Definitely.
I mean, I had him in March. Right
Oh my
right
goodness.
when everything was closing down.
Oh no.
So we've just been home. So I've been literally,
Oh my gosh.
stay-at-home mom in a sense, working, virtually and being with him, and I'm kind of loving it. I get to be with him pretty much all day. Not when I'm teaching, of course. My mom's here watching him, but so it's been
Okay.
nice just to enjoy mom life and kind of
Not running around and
yeah.
yeah, dropping
So
baby off and
yeah,
yeah.
I just get to be home with him and be nearby him, and so it's I think when I go back to work, it'll be very hard. There's so much traffic.
Oh.
So I think it's just been nice not having to spend money on gas, not having to pack a lunch or
Oh yes, I forgot about that one.
yeah, I get to sleep in a little bit more. Well, not really. He's teething right now, so
Oh yeah. That's fun.
so yeah, right. My other life right now is just enjoying being a mom
Great. Great.
and working on my products for my TPT store. So
Well,
yeah.
that's wonderful. You give us some your words of wisdom, some words to live by, a motivational quote. What is your philosophy?
Well, my teammates and I, my other first grade teachers and I were joking so much last year that next year will be our year. And now it's next year. And then now we're just saying next year is going to be our year. So I feel like just knowing that in the future, right now it's just we're in a weird time in our lives, but
Yeah.
next year, so always just thinking that, right now might not be the best, but always knowing that in the future, things will get better. And I think that is just
Yeah.
something, if you think back to high school and, if you're having a rough time in high school and you think back to like, oh, that was so hard for me at that time. But now look where I'm at. So I
Good
think,
point.
going through a pandemic and teaching virtually next year, I know I'm going to be the best teacher in the world because I will have so many strategies that I could use and remember from this time.
I love it. I love it. The next year, we just can keep
Yeah,
adding
next
more
year.
next.
Next year will be like, you know what? Next year will be our year. So just always knowing that
I
we
love
can
it.
always grow and that there's have to everything has to be better at some point. So
I agree.
just
I
thinking
agree. I love that. And yes, and I think our brains are trained for that. We like to be thinking forward and positive, definitely. So I am. It was really an honor to have you and to take the time to be our guest because we really, want everybody kind of wants to step into the world of a teacher, like I said, especially with the younger ones and see what it was like. And thank you for sharing that with us. And well, we hope to have you back again, and maybe next year. And
yeah, next year, you never know. And thank you for having me. It's
a
just
pleasure.
been fun. It's yeah, I love to just share, and hopefully, there's one other teacher out there that I have given them one piece of information that might be useful. So I'm just
Definitely.
I'm
Thank
happy
you
to be
so much. Thank you, and we wish you all the best in the end of the
Good.
year, and congrats on your baby. So
Thank you.
All right, bye bye, Mia.
Bye.